Welcome back to Dash for Adventure. We're somewhere in Texas, a little town with a population of 1,343. Stick around, we've got an interesting story to tell. Wow, this town is cool. Where are we at today? All right, here we go. Woo-hoo! Look over there. We're in this old western town to find out more about the story of Billy the Kid. This is a pretty cool statue of Billy the Kid right here. In these parts, though, they knew him as somebody else, and we're going to find out more about him. Let's go. Look at those characters. We're in Hico, Texas, which is southwest of Fort Worth, Dallas area. The Midland Hotel. Welcome, stay a while. Thing is, she can't do the throw her hands up because then it'll be a HYCO. So she just needs to stand there. So Paula forgot to put the dot on the eye. She forgot to dot her eyes. Hey, hey. She's dotting the eye. Here's some behind the scenes. Let's do it. Wow. So his name was Brushy Bill. And supposedly, he survived the shootout in 1881 down in Fort Sumter, New Mexico. And he escaped to live his life out here in Hico, Texas.
If that'd really been Billy the Kid, there'd been a shootout on the front porch.
Right.
Everybody was wanting a reward. But they just let him walk on by because he had black hair, black beard, dark complected. It was like a vaquero, a Mexican cowboy.
Right.
Pat Garrett shoots this boy twice in the back.
You know, and the story that I saw down there, it says all that. It says that they didn't see him, they shot him, and then they put him in the ground, and nobody really knew.
Okay, to start with, they would have never buried Billy the Kid like that. They'd have taken him back, thrown him on a horse, taken him back to Lincoln, and they would have put him on display.
Yeah, oh yeah.
You know, and Pat Garrett tried to get the reward, and he was turned down by the Attorney General because he said, you can't prove who you killed, you buried the evidence.
Oh, so did Pat never get the award?
Not
reward?
by the Attorney General, no.
Wow. So we're here to correct the story.
Now this, I guess you've seen this picture.
Wow.
This is the 10 type. This picture sold for $5.2 million. There.
Wow.
And is that the house where he supposedly got shot?
No, they were playing croquet. This is where Tunstall was on that ranch that he was leasing.
Oh.
Wow.
It's either a party or something,
Right.
you know. But anyway,
And then,
it switches when you put it on regular photo paper.
right.
It goes opposite to here. He's here, but he's here on this.
It'd be right there.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it switches.
Wow. And that looks like photos and the paintings you've seen of him.
Mm-hmm.
And where was this? Where was this house at?
This was on a ranch in Lincoln County.
In Lincoln County, right over by where they had the Lincoln County War.
Well, that's a big county too.
Yeah, yeah. That's enormous.
But anyway, this is an actually blown up picture of this. This is a 10 type picture.
Wow. And there's no mistaking that. That is, there's no mistaking that. That's him.
No, it's all been authenticated.
Yeah.
You know, and
Better to start on this end.
the
So here's the story. And all of this is pretty much the same. But then here, this talks about his crimes. His crimes are about the same as what we know. All the way down to the Lincoln County War and all the things that happened up to 1881.
He came into Texas out of.
But then you have to question, was he shot in New Mexico or did he escape? So basically, a lot of people that rode with him, his friends, people that knew him, one guy, John Graham, right here, who even once rode with Billy, claimed he dug the grave that night and said it was not Billy who they buried. Elizabeth Garrett, daughter of Pat Garrett, stated that her father did not kill Billy the Kid. So there was definitely some questions all the way back to the beginning. We need to find a picture of Brushy Bill. So here's a picture of Brushy Bill. And then here's some of the only confirmed photos or drawings. I think it's a photo. Somebody correct me on that one. Of Billy the Kid from back in the day when he was 20, 21. So there was no gun found on him. There was no public display or viewing of the body, as was common in those days. There was no dead photo. Typically when someone was shot and killed and they were famous, especially a gunslinger, they would take a tintype of him. There is no tintype of Pat Garrett with Billy the Kid. So apparently there was a probate investigator, William Morrison, in 1948. He went to Florida to clear up an inheritance dispute of a man named Joe Hines. And during the interviews, it was determined that Joe Hines was Jesse Evans, a Lincoln County War survivor and an old acquaintance of Billy the Kid. And Evans told Morrison that Billy the Kid was not shot by Garrett. The kid was alive and living in Hamilton County, Texas. As Aliel, Brushy Bill Roberts. And the story goes on. Morrison visited him in June of 1949. He even tried to help him obtain the pardon. Once Brushy Bill proved he was Billy the Kid, Brushy Bill had pointed out 26 bullet and knife scars on his own body that matched the locations of the wounds that Billy the Kid supposedly had. Over the years, they've done studies. They've done facial studies, aging studies, and then here was one where they did a study in ears. Wanted, the real Billy the Kid.
They already had, they had somebody else hired to play that part. Tom Selleck had 3 of those guns made for the movie down there.
So is the person who talked with Brushy Bill, is he still alive?
And Paula's locked in. Oh, look who's behind you.
Oh, I got a buddy.
Billy the Kid.
Yay! A hero.
That was cool.
I don't see any of the books about Billy the Kid here.
So I figure I've got to get this postcard. I may not send it to anybody, but you may all go to hell and I will go to Texas. And it's appropriate for me because Davy Crockett said that. I'm from Tennessee. And the reason why they call it a shot is because they used to drink shots out of, well, expired shots. 12 gauge shots right there. I don't think it was 12 gauge back in the day. It might have been. Have to find out. Make sure you come to the museum, and this gentleman right over here, right over there, he will probably tell you all the information you may want to know about Brushy Bill Roberts, Hico, Texas, and Billy the Kid.
Is with that saddle we have in the back room with the horse.
And that's Brushy Bill or Morrison
That's Brushy Bill.
with that saddle. And was that saddle in the very back there?
Over there at the side at the front.
Okay.
I might not have showed it to
I'll
you.
have to get you to show me that one, yeah.
Here he is standing in front of his house. He's got that wood handle pistol in his belt.
Yep.
This was, they sold one out in New Mexico that said that was his, but it couldn't have been his. But they sold the pearl handle one the other day, 3 or 4 years ago, for a lot of money.
Yeah.
Because they called, the auction house called me and wanted to know if I wanted to bid on it.
Yeah.
And I said, what are you going to start the auction at? And I said, and they said, 100,000. I said, count me out.
Yeah, right. But you know, it's nice that they called you. It's very nice that they called you.
Well, you know, we're a museum.
Right.
And, you know, and this is a picture we had kind of redone because it had faded so bad, but it turned out good.
Let me get a picture of that. That looks good.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good looking picture. So they haven't done DNA, but they've been able to prove in all the other areas. Witnesses.
It's never going to happen, DNA.
Yeah, they'll never be able to do that.
No,
I mean, there's nothing that exists. He rode a horse around, and anything that he had was long gone by the time he ended up here.
They say they have his mother. Of course, that's not his mother. That's a half aunt.
Yeah,
that took
right,
him out
yeah.
there. And different daddy.
And that's just not going to do it. So
There's nobody. People, they could. I mean, I could say I'm his
right.
akin to him. Take my DNA.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Here's the Bonnie, the dad.
Yeah.
This Bonnie. This is the Catherine that took him out to New Mexico. This is her up here.
Yeah.
But here he died. The mama remarried Dunn, came down this way, and here's Adeline Dunn, which is Billy's real mother.
Wow.
And she came down from the Indian Territory when the mother was real sick with, and
as an
stayed
aunt,
with her.
she was the aunt. So yeah.
When Billy's mother was real sick, and she came down here and took care of her till she died. Then she took Billy back with her up here.
Wow.
Some of these people have been in here, and I've seen some things they have.
Yeah.
And they're definitely like old second cousins
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
And they also think that it probably wasn't Pat Garrett. I mean, it probably wasn't Billy the Kid. None of them believe it.
None of them believe it.
So I wonder how many of them were secretly coming up here and hanging out with their cousin, Brushy Bill. Show me that saddle that Brushy Bill had. Oh, okay.
See the little seat?
Yeah.
The little.
So that would have been Brushy Bill's saddle.
Pretty well used.
Wow. That's amazing.
He decorated it up, had a horseshoe hanging there on the side.
Yeah. Wow. Oh, wow.
And the whole back of the book is affidavits proving everything, just page after page of affidavits. You don't see things like that in novels or nothing.
Right.
Somebody proving everything. Okay, and he explains all the pictures, how they did everything. And Then you get on up here.
So who wrote this, though?
Daniel Edwards.
Daniel Edwards. Robert, I really appreciate your time today and telling us everything about Billy the Kid and Brushy Bill Roberts here in your museum. This is a wonderful place.
You betcha. I love it. If you can't tell, I'll talk all day.
That's all right. That's that. Look at that drawing. That's Hico, looking north on Main Street at the turn of the century. Wow. That's amazing. Man, our trip to Hico, Texas, to the Billy the Kid Museum has been phenomenal. Robert was so informative. He told us everything you would ever want to know, showed us all the proof, everything they have, that Brushy Bill Roberts was Billy the Kid, and he lived his life out here in Hico, Texas. Ollie L. Brushy Bill Roberts, alias Billy the Kid, died in Hico, Texas, December 27th, 1950. He spent the last days of his life trying to prove to the world his true identity and obtain the pardon promised him by the governor of the state of New Mexico. We believe his story and pray to God for the forgiveness he solemnly asked for. Billy the Kid lived his life out here, right here in Hico, Texas. We're in Hamilton County, Texas, and we're gonna go see if we can find Brushy Bill, aka Billy the Kid's final resting place. We're gonna check out this cemetery, and here's an old post oak. I guess that's what that is. Could be wrong. And right here in this cemetery is the gravesite of Billy the Kid. Born December 31st, 1859, died December 27th, 1950. William Henry Roberts, aka Billy the Kid. So looking at this cemetery, it looks like the headstones are up here and the deceased are in the ground in this direction. So it looks like Billy the Kid may be on the other side of this headstone, because if you look at others, like Briggs, the piano virtuoso, it looks like he would be buried behind his headstone. So the same thing here. So that means Billy the Kid would be buried where Paula's standing.
Here. She's there, I bet.
And then his wife.
Because this is two burial plots.
His wife had him moved here and buried here. Not moved here, but buried here. Because she moved to Hamilton when he died to be with her sister. So when he died in Hico, Texas, she moved him here to Hamilton, Texas. And this is where he's buried, right on the side of the main highway through here. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us while we went to find Billy the Kid's gravesite out here in Hamilton, Texas. We'll see you guys in the comments.
Have a great afternoon, everyone.
See ya. What in the world is that? If you know, let me know.